Dear students, here I am going to explain the types of decimal. One is known as terminating decimal. Okay, so terminating decimal, the decimal number whose decimal part contains finite number of digits is called a terminating decimal number. The decimal number whose decimal part contains finite number of digits is called a terminating decimal number. Okay, so in the example 7.034, so what are the digits in the decimal part? 0, 3 and 4. So how many digits in the decimal part? Number of digits in the decimal part is 3. So decimal part contains finite number of digits. So it has 3 digits. Since the decimal part contains finite number of digits and number of digits can be determined. So 7.034 is a terminating decimal. Okay. So another example 12.37986. Here the number of digits in the decimal part. What are the digits you see first in the decimal part? 3, 7, 9, 8 and 6. How many digits? 5 digits. Okay. So since the number of digits in the decimal part 5. So 12.37986 is a terminating decimal number. It has 5 digits in the decimal part. And number of digits in the decimal part can be determined, can be calculated, and no, digits in the decimal part have finite number of digits. 5 digits in the decimal part in the decimal number 12.37986. So 37986 is a terminating decimal number. See here. The decimal part terminates or end. What do you mean by terminates? End. After definite number of digits. Okay. The decimal part terminates or end after definite number of digits, and we can say how many digits the decimal part has in the terminating decimal. You see here how many digits in the decimal part? How many digits? 3, 7, 9, 8, 6. 5 digits. So after 5 digits, the decimal number terminates. Okay. So in the terminating decimal, the decimal part terminates after definite number of digits. So such type of decimal are called terminating decimal number. Similarly, in the number 7.034, okay, so after 3 digits, what are the digits here? 0, 3, 4. So after 3 digits, the decimal part terminates. Okay, so number of digits in the decimal part is 3. Okay, we can calculate how many digits in the decimal part. So 7.034 is a terminating decimal number. Okay, so let us see one example here, how to divide a fraction into decimal. 1 upon 4. By process of division also, we can say whether a number is terminating or non-terminating. Another thing also see, without dividing also you can say whether a number is terminating or non-terminating decimal number. You see the fraction. By looking the fraction, you can say whether the number is a terminating or non-terminating decimal number. See the fraction. What is the fraction here? 1 upon 4. You see the denominator of the fraction. It is saying the denominator is 4. So it is saying that if the denominator of a fraction is only the prime factor of 2 or 5 or both 2 and 5, then such kind of decimal is always a terminating decimal number. Here you see, denominator should be always the prime factor is either 2 or 5 or both 2 and 5. Prime factor should be 2, 5 or 2 or 5, maybe both. Okay, then it will be a terminating decimal number. If except 2 or 5 any other factor, prime factor is a factor of the denominator, then it is a non-terminating decimal number and it cannot be a terminating decimal number. Okay, so by looking the number fraction, we can say whether it is a terminating or non-terminating decimal number. So if the denominator has the factor only 2 or 5 or both 2 and 5, then it is terminating. If the denominator has factor other factor, if the denominator has any factor other than 2 or 5, then it is always a non-terminating decimal number, remember. Okay, by looking the number you can say. Understand? Okay, let us see a number 1 upon 4 is fraction. Denominator is 4 and 4 is a factor of 2. 2 into 2, 4 is equal to 2 into 2. So prime factor, what is the prime factor in the prime factorization of 4? 2 into 2 or 2 square. Since 2 is the only prime factor in the denominator of the given rational number 1 upon 4, so it must be a terminating decimal number. Okay, so while you are converting a fraction and decimal, what do? We divide the fraction. Let us see whether it is terminating or non-terminating. Let us see here. Here 1 is divided by 4. Okay, so you see 1 cannot be divided by 4. Putting the decimal point in the quotient, number will be, and put the 0, the number will be 10. So 10 is divided by 4. 4 to the 8. Okay, 20. 10 minus 8, 2. So put 0, 20. Then 5 for the 4, 5 the 20, 0. Okay, you see. So 1 upon 4, what is the question? 0.25. So 1 upon 4, when you are dividing 1 upon 4, so the remainder is 0 and the decimal number is a terminating decimal number, because 0.25 we can say how many digits in the decimal part? 2 digits. Understand? By looking the number you can say, then you can divide and find out in the decimal expression. A fraction can be converted into decimal expression by process of division and divide, and you can check it is coming. Understand? Another thing, while you are dividing a terminating decimal number, the remainder is always 0. If the remainder is always 0 during the process of division, then such kind of decimal is also always terminating decimal number. While you are dividing fraction, okay, if the remainder is always 0, then such kind of decimal is also called a terminating decimal. Remember, this is here remainder is 0. So 0.25 is a terminating decimal number while you are converting 1 by 4. Okay, and the decimal expression will always a terminating decimal number. You are seeing 1 by 4 is equal to 0.25. Okay, understand? So while converting a fraction into decimal by method of division, the remainder is always 0. Then the decimal form is a terminating decimal. Just I told, it is written here. Thus in 1 upon 4 the remainder is 0, okay, during the process of division, and the quotient is 0.25. okay, it is a terminating decimal number. Okay, similarly see another number. Another number is written 1 upon 8. 1 upon 8, what is the denominator? The denominator is 8, which is, we can write 8 is equal to 2 cube, 2 into 2 into 2. So the prime factor, in the prime factorization of 8, the 2 is the only prime factor. So the denominator of the given fraction has only the prime factor 2. So by looking the number, we can say 1 upon 8 is a terminating decimal number. Understand? Is it clear? Before the division, without dividing, we can say the number is a terminating decimal number. Let us divide. So 1 upon 8, put the decimal point, put 0, number is 10, 8 1 is 8, 2, remainder is 2, again put 0, 20, 8 is 16, 20 minus 16, 4, again put another 0, 40, so 8 5 is 40, so the remainder is 0. So in the remainder is 0 and the question is 0.125, and 0.125 has how many digits? 3 digits, so it is a terminating decimal number. Understand? So 1 upon 8 is equal to 0.125 is a terminating decimal number. Understand? Okay. Is it clear? Okay. You see another example. Another example, see 1 upon 25. The 1 upon 25, you see 1 upon 25. As 1 upon 25, denominator 25. If you factorize, 25 will be 5 into 5 or 5 square. So what is the prime factor of the denominator? The prime factor is only 5. The prime factor is only 5. Since the denominator has the only prime factor 5, then it is also terminating decimal number. So 1 upon 25 is a terminating decimal number. If you convert into decimal form, then it is a terminating decimal number. Okay. So by looking the number 1 upon 25, we can say it is a terminating decimal number because the denominator has only the prime factor 5. Let us divide 1 upon 25. The value will be 0.04. You see, and the remainder is 0. Hence 1 upon 25. So in the fraction 1 upon 25, the remainder is 0. So 0.04 is a terminating decimal number. Understand? This is about the idea regarding terminating decimal number. How can you recognize? By looking the number. Okay. So if the fractions, in the fraction the denominator has only the factor 2 or 5 or both 2 and 5, then the number can be terminating decimal number. Similarly 1 by 40, you can say it is a terminating decimal number. Okay, prepare some of the number and whose denominator are the factor 2 and 5 or only 5 or only 5 or only 2 or both 2 and 5. You can find out whether that number is a terminating or not. Okay, thank you.